ahead and put your hair up. So that way you don't get any hair in your food. And then once your hair is up, you're going to go ahead and wash your hands for 60 seconds. Okay, so next I have all my supplies out on the counter. So I have a rolling pin, which we'll use later, got 2 forks, measuring cup, salt, flour, and then plastic wrap. So first we're going to start with our flour, because I forgot eggs. First we're going to start with our flour. So I've already sanitized this countertop. So that's something we want to do, and then let it dry, or else the flour will stick to it. So what we're going to do first is take our measuring cup, measure out roughly 2 cups of flour. Add a pinch of salt. And you go ahead and mix that up. Okay, and then what you're going to do is create a well. So what that means is you're just going to create a hole in the center of this flour for your eggs to go in. So for the amount of pasta that we're gonna make, it should be about that big. So then we're gonna go ahead and take 2 eggs, crack it into the well. Take one of your forks, and then you're just gonna start to kind of scramble your eggs inside that well, making sure you're very gentle to not break the well. And flour will slowly start to incorporate into the center, which is what we want. So then once your eggs are scrambled, you're going to start to pull from the side of the well. Just keep mixing it together. So we're going to do this until the dough is sturdy enough that we can pick it up and start working with it with our hands. So this portion right here can actually help a lot with wrist range of motion and that wrist muscle strength, having to whisk it like this. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and start working it with my hands. So just kind of rolling it in the flour, pushing it through, getting all that flour in. You're going to end up with some excess flour on the side, and you'll know how much by how I want your dough to look. So you want it to be mainly firm, but just a little bit of stickiness. If it's sticking to your fingers, it's still too sticky, so you want to keep adding flour to it. And then this part is also really good for shoulder motion and wrist motion as well. Just gonna keep adding flour, keep kneading it. So it's starting to stiffen up a little bit. You really want to incorporate all the flour into it. See how there's still flour on the outside, so you want to make sure that you get all that flour on the inside. It's a nice yellow color, and that's when you'll know if it's stiff enough or if it's still too sticky. So I'm going to go ahead and come off to the side so I can try and incorporate that flour. So it's starting to stick to my fingers, so I need to add some more flour to it. Still a little sticky. Add a little bit more flour. So this is no longer sticking, just a little bit sticky, but it's not sticking to my fingers. And you want that nice yellow color with all the flour worked in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our saran wrap. And then we're just gonna make our dough into a nice circle, both sides. Then you're gonna place it in the saran wrap. And place it in the fridge for 20 minutes. So I already had one in the fridge, so that way we can just keep rolling here. So in those 20 minutes, if wanted, you can make a filling to put in your raviolis. I did here, I just put cream cheese and a little bit of tomato paste. That's what I did in my 20 minutes. Really, you can put whatever you want inside the raviolis. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands, get some of that dough off. So this dough has been sitting in the fridge for 20 minutes. And one way I suggested to grate this is to let it sit in the fridge longer. So that way it's a little bit colder, a little bit harder. So that way it's harder to roll out. But now we just take our rolling pin. We're just going to roll it out. So I need to add a little bit of flour to it if it's sticking like that. This part right here is really great for that wrist motion, for the shoulder motion. And if it ever sticks to that rolling pin, you just add a little bit of flour. It's also going to help with that muscle strength because you have to push down on the dough to make it really, really flat. flour. I'm gonna take a knife. I'm gonna go ahead and cut a rectangle out of this so that way I can have even pieces. You can reuse those and roll those out more if you want. I'm not going to just because of time constraint. But at this point, I'd go ahead and start my boiling water, put a pinch of salt in there, and get that boiling. Okay, so once I have this square, it's a little bit thick. I'd like it a little bit thinner, but for time purposes, we're gonna go ahead and just roll with this. Actually, I might try and roll it out just a little bit more. So that got a little bit thinner. That's more of what we want to see, but even a little bit thinner than that is okay. It's just going to take longer to cook the thicker it is. So next what you're going to do, so I'm going to remake my rectangle because there was some edges here. Okay. So now I'm probably going to make probably just two. So I'm going to make two big ones. So I'm going to go ahead and cut in half. Depending on how much dough you made, you can decide how much you want to put in it, how little you want to put in it. So I didn't make those even the first time, so I'm going to go ahead and make them even now. So that way they sit on top of each other, corner to corner. And then next, I'm going to line them back up. We're going to go ahead and cut. So you can make them as big or as small as you want. But just try and make them all about the same size. There we go. So you want to keep your pairs together. And go ahead and take your filling. And place it in the center of one. Now you don't want to overfill it because it'll come out on the sides, but if you do overfill it, it's not the biggest thing in the world, just a little bit messy. So next what we're going to do is put the other one on top. And what you're going to do is take a fork. You're just going to crimp it down just like that. So this is what closes them together. I'm going to wash my finger real quick so I didn't have that sauce on it. So if you overfill it, sauce at this point will start to spill out of the sides, which is completely fine. You just gotta wipe it up. Perfect. So there's one. This one might spill out on the sides, but we'll see. So this is another good one for that wrist movement and even up into the shoulder. Yeah, I think it's going to spill out a little bit on the side, which is fine. Last one here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these three and come over. So it should be boiling a little bit more than that, but just for this, we're going to go ahead and drop them in there. They're going to drop to the bottom. Then you'll know it's done when they float to the top. So it'll take 5 to 7 minutes depending on how thick you make it. You can go ahead